So this one's a little off topic, but I think in the conversation of, abandoned buildings, older structures, I like to cover a lot of the history of certain things. So this was something I think a lot of you might find interesting, regardless if it has to do with urban exploration or abandoned buildings directly. So cities like Philadelphia began using cast iron water mains over 200 years ago, some still in use today, which is pretty outdated, but there are still some even more extremely outdated water pipes that deliver drinking water to several locations across the United States. How outdated? The water pipes are made out of wood. Yeah, wood. Wooden planks that are tightly secured with a coil of metal, with each section being held together to act as one long narrow barrel, are still in use today. Water officials believe a handful of those wooden water mains are currently still active in Pennsylvania, Alaska, South Dakota, among other states. This is a sobering reality of the age and fragility of the United States drinking water systems, many which heavily rely on old pipes, some over 100 years old, a problem that goes unnoticed until they burst. And they are bursting more frequently, as the EPA reports that there is an estimated 240,000 water main breaks each year in recent years, and many experts fear that the number is going to continue to rise. In 2009, the New York Times reported that the federal stimulus law provides $6 billion for water projects, with $2 billion of that directed to drinking water systems. Unfortunately, a report released later that year by the EPA estimated that the nation's drinking water systems require an investment of $335 billion over the next 20 years. America's aging plumbing systems are a danger in many ways in several places across the country. Water main breaks don't just mean that some households lose running water until it is repaired. They have stranded drivers on flooded roads. They've caused mudslides in California, created sinkholes in Michigan, flooded schools and subway stations, and more. People have had to be rescued by helicopter in some cases. A break in Niagara Falls, New York, spewed an estimated 11 million gallons of water. Warren, Michigan Mayor Jim Fouts stated, "Everybody's been looking the other way, and we have this ticking time bomb that's ready to go off," noting that many municipalities spend their limited resources on more visible needs, like street work, rather than on costly pipe repair and replacements. With many systems showing their age, the American Water Works Association has termed this the dawn of the replacement era. Many localities find themselves having to replace miles and miles of pipe for the first time, a burden that is especially severe in poorer, older industrial areas with shrinking populations. When it comes to pipes, newer is not necessarily better, as the American Water Works Association has pointed out. The older cast iron pipes, still in use, dating back to the 1800s, have an average useful life of about 120 years. For cast iron pipes installed in the 1920s, that drops to about 100 years, and pipes put in after World War II have an average life of only about 75 years. All three options will need replacements in a short stretch of time. If there is an upside to any of this, it's that some pipes are lasting longer than anyone expected, like the remaining wooden pipes that are scattered across the country and still in use today, relics from the days when many American water systems used barrel-like pipes or bored-out logs to deliver water like something out of an old Western movie. No one seems to know exactly how old some of the wooden pipes are. While installing a new water main in Bangor, Maine, workers uncovered Civil War-era wooden pipes that predate the city's first official public water system. It is believed the wooden pipes were installed sometime between 1862 and 1875. "It's kind of an art to work on wood pipe now," said Mr. Van Epps, who used to repair the wooden pipes when he was a young contractor, "and I'm not sure that we even have the expertise to do major repair on wood lines." Back to Philadelphia. Even the cast iron pipes used for water mains have an average age of 78 years. Newsworks reported in 2015 that though Philadelphia's water department has made great strides over the last several decades to decrease leakage, the city still has the third highest leakage rate in the Delaware River Basin of the 50 largest cities. Only Wilmington, Delaware, and Camden, New Jersey are worse. All that leaking water springing out of old pipes is costing customers across the city a total of about $50 million a year in lost revenue and other costs. Every day, about 60 million gallons of water leaks into the ground through old pipes. That water never makes it to the homes of the people who are paying for the extraction and transportation of the water. it's just something interesting to think about that we don't really ever talk about or think about where the water comes from that we basically take for granted, that we don't know how old the pipes are. It's a problem that probably needs a spotlight on it, so I figured I'd share this, and I don't know what anybody's going to do about it, but at least now you know.